Hey folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. So last week we worked on this portion of Steve. As you can see over there, I haven't done anything. Nothing. I did actually order my replacement parts from AMD. They, I think, showed up yesterday. So that worked out pretty well. But I've spent a good part of the day, and sorry it's a little windy out right now. We got rain and storm stuff blowing in. But spent just a little bit of time today so far getting my scrap firewall pulled around. So here's the scrap firewall. You can tell it's not the best, but it's definitely better. So all through here on Steve is completely rotted out. I went and looked on Steve just a few minutes ago, and I've got, where is that at? There's that thing. So I've got to cut basically this piece, just this cowl piece. I'm going to cut from like right over here down, and then I'll probably take it back over here behind this brake reinforcement thing. I'll have to probably find all the spot welds, drill those out, get this piece off so that way I can actually see. And you know, I'll have to take my blank panel that's going before I go cutting over here. I'll probably set it on here. I'll have to pull all these nuts and bolts, pull this windshield wiper motor off, but get this guy off, get the wiper motor off, get all this cleaned up, and then I can take my you know, my fancy piece, my smooth piece, and I can set it on here, and then that way I can trace out my openings and I can get all that stuff located. That way we'll be in good shape there. So it's kind of what I've been working on this morning. Nothing fancy, nothing exciting. So I'm fixing to get the angle grinder out here, cut these guys off, get this piece off of here so I can get better access to here. You can see there's just a boatload of seam seal here, but there ain't any rust, so that's nice. There's a ton of seam seal in here. Again, there's some rust, but it doesn't appear to be as bad. So I can cut, you know, this, I can actually just cut this whole section off right here. And I'll probably do that on both sides. That way I've got, well, frankly, that way I've got, you know, more than enough material to work with. So I guess if I can find a good spot to set the camera up, we'll film this, but otherwise we'll see you here, here in just a few minutes inside. So if you ever wonder why these things rust out, here's your answer. Look at all this. All that dirt and crap. Now granted, this has been sitting in the back, you know, for, I don't know, a year, year and a half, something like that, where all this stuff could just sit. But I also bought this thing and it was full of just all sorts of crap and all these little nooks and crannies and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. We'll clean this out so I'm not having to fight with it. But that at least gets this thing out of the way. Maybe I can save this part, I'm not sure. We'll see. But that at least gets this out of the way where I can get in here and bust these welds loose and actually, you know, get to what I need to get to, which is here. Yeah. Also, I need to save this piece. Yeah, that's right. I got to save this piece too, because this is all rotted out on Steve. Golly, so much. But all right, so I'm just going to keep working on this. I got to go to the other side, cut it out too, but I'm gonna probably take this on down in here so that way I can get to these spot welds, get those drilled out. You know, I kind of wish I had the camera rolling. There is a bad thing about a, you know, concrete apron that's not level. And when you have metal sawhorses and you're working on metal and things are rusty and ton of sharp edges on them. So, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, you know, this happened. You know, this also happened. Yeah, I Ah, dude, I got the back of my hand, filleted it. That, and I cut the shit out of my arms too. So yeah, now I'm all beat and bloody. This turned out to be a really good day. Probably would not have got cut, but yeah, if you might have noticed in the background, there's been this thing. Yeah, it kissed it. Didn't do anything, but that was, I was trying to keep it from, you know, wrecking the bike. It's not my bike, it's Jackson's bike. So he just turned 18 back in October, so he's an adult, whatever. He's got, you know, his money saved up, whatever. And he said he wanted to get a motorcycle. I'm gonna go inside because there's just too much wind. So he said he wanted a motorcycle, and I was like, you know what, Jackson, with your driving history as of late, because, you know, y'all guys know he doesn't have the best track history, you know, track record. My 2015 GMC would like to have a word with him. Still upset about that. But yeah, so he decided he wanted a motorcycle. So I think it was last night, actually. I come home from work. I hear a motorcycle running, and then I keep hearing somebody kill it. And I'm like, I bet Jackson went and bought a damn motorcycle. Sure enough, he did. He was trying to keep it at a friend's house, so I didn't find out about it. And I was like, you know, he only lives like 100 yards that way. You've been talking about getting a motorcycle here lately, and I'm like, bad idea, buddy. Bad idea. And the next thing you know, I hear somebody killing a motorcycle, trying to get it to run because he's never ridden a real motorcycle before. And yeah, so we have a motorcycle now. Don't worry. I told him that thing only stays in the driveway, and our little street, it's a dead end street. I was just like, you can ride it here till you can get used to it. But I told him, you don't take it out on the main road till you have it tagged, insured, you're licensed, and you've gone through your you know, motorcycle safety course. I was like, whatever. I was hoping he would hold off for at least another year or two, get a little bit more drive time underneath him. But I will say, I was watching him earlier out here riding around. He's extremely inexperienced. I am not a pro by any means. I mean, I used to ride, but it's been, well, almost 18 years since I rode. I sold my bike right after Jackson was born, mainly because with a newborn, there wasn't any time to ride. So, but yeah, so he's, you know, I've been watching him, very inexperienced, but he's learning. He's been very cautious. He's you know, he's doing most of the right things, you know, so as long as he listens to some advice other than, you know, not buying a motorcycle, he'd probably be all right. But anyhow, so yeah, so that Firewall almost plowed into the front of his little, you know, cheapy motorcycle. He did not spend a lot of money on it. It's a beater bike. It's a good bike to learn on. Maybe a little heavy to learn on, but it's a good one. But anyways, yeah, I almost killed the front of it with the with that Firewall. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and probably move the motorcycle so it's not right there up to where I'm working, and maybe try to figure out a better situation for, you know, setting everything up and getting this thing done. I don't know. So long story short, I'll be right back. So I was really trying to just kind of take this apart methodically. You know, maybe there's some other parts I could use, but now I'm aggravated. So yeah, we're gonna go this route. I'm just gonna hack this damn thing. I mean, I'm gonna hack it in a way that it should still be, you know, usable for, you know, mocking things up and figuring out stuff. But basically, I'm gonna take and just cut this corner out. I'm just gonna cut the whole damn corner out. Probably do the same thing over there, and then I'll just set it somewhere for the meantime. That way I still have it for, you know, figuring out where stuff needs to land and all that. So yeah, let's get the Sawzall. Let's do this. Broke the blade. gets me everything I need for this part. So this is the driver's side. I guess I'm gonna go over here and do the passenger side. More fun, yay. All right, well, that's enough tearing apart things today. I am battered, beaten, and tired. I bet that thing fell off the sawhorses, I don't know, 5 or 6 more times while I was cutting all this crap. It was ridiculous. So I do have, what is this? This is the driver's side. Got that guy good. And this is my passenger side, which is, hey, there's a, yeah, gross. So this is the passenger side. Got this guy, you know, cut out, ready to go. So that was a, like I said, I was trying to do it where I was just kind of methodically take it apart. That way, hey, there's some other pieces or parts I need. I'm not just hacking this thing to pieces. Yeah, no. Yeah, it made me mad, so screw it. Hack and slash, man. Hack and slash. So, so yeah, so here we are. Now I've got enough to take care of this. I believe I cut that somewhere in this neighborhood off the other truck, so I can cut it, you know, somewhere back in here, or even up to in this neighborhood, somewhere here where there's some good metal left. So I can cut this guy down and basically make this one piece here and get this guy welded in. I will cut it off of the scrap piece first. Once I finish disassembling that, there's still some work there to do. So yeah, once I get this guy disassembled, then I can take and figure out exactly where I'm going to cut over here, and I can cut out that lower A-pillar piece and on to the cowl, and then I'll do pretty much the same thing over here. I haven't done anything on the driver's side just yet. That's actually probably what I'm going to work on the rest of the night tonight, is getting the driver's side tore down. That way I have everything kind of opened up, get a game plan together, figure out, you know, what's what and how to work with everything else. So so yeah, so I'm gonna work on that tonight. I'm not gonna film all of it because that's pretty much the exact same crap that I did on the passenger side. But yeah, I did get my new parts from Auto Metal Direct. Yeah, lots of packing material here. So nice shiny parts. This is the passenger side, and there's the driver's side down in the box. So fresh metal, that's always cool. So that'll be nice once I get that in there. So before we go putting those parts on, I will go through here, get this all cleaned up, and come back and hit this with maybe Pour 15 if it hadn't dried up on me, or I've got that Sweet Patina stuff sitting over there on the shelf. Their frame blackout paint, something like that. Just put something on it that'll stay for a long time, and I don't have to worry about, you know, things rusting out. So that's kind of what the plan is. Get all this stuff cleaned up, done up, ready to go, and then we can get started on actually cutting this crap up. And that ought to be a lot. That'll be a lot of fun. So all right, I'm gonna get over here, work on the driver's side tonight. Maybe get to, I doubt I'll even get to these tonight, tearing those guys down and getting them broke down to where, you know, they're usable pieces. Probably won't get to that tonight, but I can at least get the driver's side hacked off of there and kind of get myself ready to go on that. So I'll catch up with y'all guys in the morning, and we'll figure out something to do tomorrow. Well, good morning, folks. So it is Sunday morning. Take these earplugs out so I can actually hear myself, so I don't feel like I'm yelling. Sunday morning. Yesterday I got out here and finished mostly cleaning up the driver's side. So I got the last little bits of metal off, went through here, wire brush it, you know the stuff. Yeah, we have a little bit worse rust spot here in this wonderful little nook and cranny. Went ahead, pulled out my spots, you know, drilled them out right in through here, because we're going to cut this guy, I believe, just up underneath this A-pillar right there. Try to hide it as best we can. This is the driver's side, so I'll see it more. You know, I'm not a passenger princess very often. So, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try to get it welded in up underneath here. That way it doesn't show up anywhere. So that means we're going to cut somewhere back here. Just go ahead and replace the whole, you know, this whole piece. I haven't figured out exactly how I want to take it here. I just want to carry it all the way down and then come across here, because this is really, really weak metal. As you can see, it's, you know, splitting. This I did with a dang putty knife. But yeah, just take it and just follow right along the edge of where the rust is. There should be decent metal back here. I can take it a little bit further, but here's what I've cut out of the other piece for this section. So you can see we got, you know, good piece here. And it just, you know, pretty much is going to sit right like that. So I've got up to here I can cut off of this piece. I didn't worry too much about down here because this all is going to end up getting replaced anyways whenever I put the smooth panels in. So, or the bead rolled panels. I don't know. They are bead rolled, but they're smooth. So yeah, there they are. Also went ahead and I cut out the section for this. That proved to be a little bit more of a challenge because yeah, that little guy right there, he should be, well, luckily that's probably rotted out on this one. But yeah, there's this support that's behind here. I know what that is now. That is actually reinforcement for the hinges, or for this hinge. So yeah, let's see if I can't get the other one. Kind of show you. Yeah, here we go. There's your cutaway shot. So there's your, you know, support that goes down for the hinge, and pretty much just helps to support the weight of the door. So you know, everybody knows 70s and 80s, we had some heavy ass doors. So that took, I don't know, hour and a half, I think, something like that, hour and a half to cut that thing up and get those two pieces that I need off of the quarter firewall, fifth of a firewall, sixth of a firewall, the part of the firewall that I got, you know, this much of the firewall. So it took me about an hour and a half to get that thing broke down, because again, trying to be very careful because, you know, I need this piece. I don't need to mangle it. Yeah, so it's a challenge, but I figure now that I kind of figured out what I'm doing here, I can set up the camera and let y'all guys see kind of the process for breaking this guy down and getting, you know, we're going to need this piece on down here into the cowl, and we need this whole piece as well. So this one will probably end up doing very similar. I'll probably basically take this whole piece off. This, I don't know, I may cut out, yeah, kind of like I did on the other one, take and cut out along the window frame here, because that's all spot welded in right in through here, but cut out along here because I'm not going to use up here. We're just going to primarily be focused on this bottom part. Ooh, there's a big dent there. That's all right, it'll buff. So all right, let me set the camera up and we'll go through this real quick. It'll be a time-lapse thing because otherwise y'all guys will be sitting here staring at the screen for like an hour watching me, you know, cut this thing up and drill out spot welds and, you know, cuss and holler and all that. So let me set the camera up and we'll be right back. Well, that went a lot faster the second time around. Obviously, I've never torn a truck down this far. I mean, as far as tearing into the inner structures and figuring out where things are and how things lie. So the second one went so much faster, probably less than 20 minutes maybe. I was able to get more for this piece that I need, because I actually could find the spot welds on this one. I couldn't find any of the spot weld. I found that one, but trying to find these spot welds was almost impossible. There was a ton of extra paint down in, you know, well, on this guy it would have been in this area, but there was so much extra paint like right in through here. Couldn't quite see anything through it. I did try hitting it with the grinder, just try to knock some of the paint off, but I still couldn't see any spots. Yeah, this guy came off really easy. The one thing I've noticed the big difference between the green truck or the green cab or the green Firewall, whatever, and Steve is the amount of seam seal. This thing had so much seam seal on it right in here. Same thing on that side. Where whenever I started tearing all this stuff down on Steve, there wasn't hardly any over here. And same thing over on the driver's side. Just, I don't know, difference in days on manufacturing. Maybe the guy that was putting Steve together, he was running low on seam seal, so he was being a little stingy with it. And the guy who was putting together whatever this green cab, was, I think it was a 4-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure it was. 4-wheel drive was a 79, if I remember right. But whoever was doing that one that day had tons of extra, because like this piece of seam seal here, that does nothing. There is nothing here. There is not a seam here. So I don't know. Somebody went crazy with it. But yeah, that's the only main difference that I can see between the two cabs was the amount of seam seal used. Yeah, there's some here, you know, back in this area and a little bit in here, but nothing like what that, you know, nothing like what the green one had. So now I have some really good, solid, mostly solid patch panels to fix Steve up. And there's a couple things left to do. I still have to pull these little brackets off. They are spot welded in up here. This little reinforcement bracket sits, well, you know, you can kind of see on that, but it sits here. And it's got that little bolt in it that's kind of angled that direction. And if you're not sure what that little guy is, that little guy goes into the hood right here in this hole. And it just kind of sits there. So in case you're in a front end collision, that hood doesn't come in and give you, what's a human head weigh? About 8 pounds, I think. If Jerry Maguire taught me anything, it was, I think it was 8 pounds.
Jerry, do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
But, yeah, those little guys are there to keep the hood from going through the windshield in a front end collision and giving you a instant 8-pound reduction in weight. So, those need to go back on there because, you know, not that I ever plan on getting in a collision, but if I do, it would be nice to, you know, still have my head. And then, you know, that would also cut my beard, and I don't want to do that. So the next thing's going to be finishing up getting the little pieces and parts off of the big piece, and then laying out where my cut lines are going to be. Obviously, this is trash, so I think I've got metal all the way up to here, so I can cut somewhere back in this neighborhood. There's a couple weird bends and flat spots like there, and then one here. So I'll probably go just above those and try to keep this thing inside this cowl area to where it's kind of hidden, because the paint probably won't match right up. You know, it might be close, but it probably won't match. But try to keep it to where it's not as noticeable. So I got to do that. I got to do all my rust rehab, so to speak, down in, you know, this pillar, since now we know what this piece is that we can kind of see poking through there. Support for the door. And actually, I may go ahead and do that here in just a minute. Start, you know, hosing this stuff up with the with that rust inhibitor, converter, spray thing, whatever. Go ahead and get that done, because there's not much else I can do today. We've got Jackson's football banquet this afternoon, so we got to go to that. So my day's cut really short today, plus I still have to do all my editing. So it's been a fun weekend, I'll tell you that much. why don't I go ahead and get that can out, and we'll start laying down this stuff, and then that'll allow me to go ahead and finish up on the cab corner. Next time I come out, I can get the cab corner done, get the passenger side rocker finished out. That way, that part's all done. And then we can get started on fixing some of this rust up here. There was this one spot that I forgot to mention. I saw this when I was doing the floor, but I elected not fix it then, mainly because I saw that it wrapped to the firewall side. So I wanted to wait so I can actually fix this in one shot. So that does have to get cut out and fixed. There's another spot similar to it over there that I kind of fixed, but not really, really well. It's really hard to get in that little spot. So I can fix those two little spots. I don't know. There's so much to do here. But let me get that can and get it rattled up real good, and we'll hook the hose up and we'll spray this stuff here in just a second. All right. According to the can, it says shake vigorously for a minute. I've been shaking pretty vigorously for a couple minutes, so she ought to be all right. So we'll put our tube cap on here. And I'm just going to take this guy and thread him on up in here. Maybe. All right. Maybe that's as far up as I can go. All right. So now we can just take and spray and drag. Oh, wow. That sprays a lot. Holy crap. All right. We'll come down here and do the same. There is a delay on, there is a delay here on, when it stops spraying versus when you stop pushing the button. So heads up on that. Whew. This is gonna get messy. So I'm gonna do this one kind of blind, I think. Let's see if I can't find the hole here. There's that. Yeah, this is not as exact as I would like, but I guess she'll do the trick. And since I forgot to spray on the inside of my rocker panel, yeah, it's a little messy, but it should cover really, really well. So here on the driver's side or passenger side, okay, probably ought to do that front little section on the passenger side as well. All right, y'all get the idea. So I'm gonna set the camera down. I'm gonna finish this up real quick and I'll catch back up here in a minute. All right, that's done. I'm really glad I put the camera down. That got a little crazy, I will say. That stuff comes out, and I mean, you could hear it coming out. It comes out pretty forcefully. I did go ahead and do like lower cab corner. Went in through my seatbelt hole up here, shot back up this way, shot down that way. Went up A-pillars, shot up there, shot a little bit this way. Not too terribly important because I can still access it all right there. Went in the hole here, shot down, shot up, covering all this stuff. I did actually take the tip and just the tip, stick it in right here and spray and kind of walk it and shoot all around inside this area so I could try to cover as much of that inner structure as possible. Then I took There is a drain plug right there on the rocker. I'd already painted on the inside of this one, but hey, what's another level of protection? Went ahead and did that here. Sprayed inside the rocker over there, cab corner over there, you know, all the stuff. So, I will say this stuff seems to react with the rust, which is nice, because it actively bubbles and does some crazy crap whenever it touches the rust. So that tells me it's doing something, but it's messy with the hose. So you can kind of see how the paint and, you know, I've got my hands should have wore gloves, but both my hands are really covered in paint right now. I did have, this guy did clog a couple of times. Very gingerly, you can put one of these straws in the end of the cap there, but it still sprays everywhere. The brake clean does. And anybody knows anything about brake clean, if you got a cut, it's gonna find it. And from the activities yesterday, I got a lot of cuts, man. That was really painful. Luckily, it didn't get on the ginormous cut on the back of my hand. It hit all the nice little ones on my forearm here. But it still hurt. But that's all done. I've got big drips everywhere. So I got to get another paper towel. And yeah, there's one. Yeah, big drips everywhere. You know, that tells me it's coated really, really well in there. There's still some spray left in this can. Probably third, maybe, which is good. That's fine. Whenever I go to cutting this out, cut this cowl out, and that'll give me full access back into there. I can scuff all that down rather than getting in there with a brush. I can spray it with that. I've got a couple more nozzles. It comes with one nozzle on the can and one extra one in the cap. So I've got a couple extra nozzles. The little hose, that thing clogs up pretty quick. I think it clogged up on me. I got the A-pillar done on the driver's side, rocker panel, cab corner, and I think it clogged up on me when I was doing this piece of the A-pillar structure right here. I think that's where it clogged up on me. It clogged up pretty doggone quick. Like I said, luckily I could flush it out with brake clean, but my God, what a mess. Definitely should have wore gloves. Because now I'm going to have painter's hands whenever we go to the banquet tonight. Maybe I can scrub that off. I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, that's about all the time I've got this week. I know it was a short thing. Like I said, last week, I was on call this week. And I've had to run inside the house yesterday. I don't know how many times I had to go in the house yesterday and go do some work. And then so far today, it's been a 3 times. So, yeah, on call really sucks. It really cuts into my day. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten a whole lot done. But we did get some good stuff done. You know, got my patch panels ready to go, you know, for the driver's and passenger side over here off the cowl and the windshield frame. And a little note about that is, you know, this cab that I bought a couple years ago, I've got a link for it. I'll throw it up there, throw it down in the description, something like that. Did a video on it a year or 2 ago, maybe 2 years ago. Did a video on the teardown on that guy. Paid $75 for this cab. I got a bunch of little bitty doodads and hootenannies off of it. A lot of good little parts. Stuff that, you know, don't really have to have, but are nice in case you need it. Like an extra gas pedal assembly, extra brake pedal assembly. I don't remember all the parts, but it is a lot of parts. They're in a box somewhere, doing me a whole lot of good sitting up on a shelf. I think they're over there. But I got a bunch of parts in case I want to go to a swap meet, you know, and I want to actually do a booth or something. I can sell a bunch of little crap. So it should pay for itself. But the bigger part is the Firewall. You know, back when I bought that cab, they didn't offer any replacement parts here. So now AMD, Automotive Direct, they are not a sponsor. I know I say them a lot. I just like their product. I've met those guys, solid guys, it's good products. So, you know, highly recommend using that, especially for any body panels you need. I know they sell a bunch of other stuff, but body panels, man, they've got that thing nailed down. But yeah, a couple years ago, they didn't sell any of those things, but now they do sell like 2 versions of the Firewall, basically from the cowl down. This section And I can't remember what all they include in that. I don't remember exactly where it cuts off back here, but it is the big Firewall piece. I want to say it's like 650 bucks, something like that. They do offer the cowl, which is from this line up, and I believe it goes up over the windshield. It's the full windshield frame and everything. It's, I want to say around $600. So if I was needing to either make patch panels or get patch panels for this, and I didn't have this crappy old cab that I was able to cut up, you know, then I'd potentially be looking at spending, you know, $600 to $1,200 to fix this, you know, and no, I'm spending $75, and I am not the most talented metalsmith out here. As you guys may have noticed, I am not the best at making panels. So me trying to make something with these little bends and this little guy and this flare and this curve and this little hook, no, not happening. Ain't no way. I probably could, but it would actually look like trash. So yeah, so 75 bucks, man. Well worth it, at least even for these pieces. Now, to kind of push that on home, these parts right here that I cut out, they do make the replacements for that. This big bulbous piece on both sides, but they were 80 bucks a piece. So 80 bucks a piece, so that's 160 bucks that I spent just to fix these two pieces out here. And there really wasn't anything wrong with them. It's just there's no easy way to get them off without destroying them, at least that I could tell. But, you know, 75 bucks, and I've got these good patch panels and a bunch of other little pieces and parts, and, you know, hey, it's good stuff. So if you got a rough truck that you really, really like and you don't want to do a cab swap on it, find you an old junker cab somewhere. Pay a few $100 for it. It'll pay off in the end. But anyways, with that, I guess we're going to wrap this one up. So I do appreciate y'all guys watching. Just like I say every week, I really do appreciate y'all guys watching. It means a bunch to me. Keeps me motivated to keep plugging away on this stuff. Because, you know, sheet metal work is, I don't enjoy this at all. But I truly do appreciate each and every one of y'all guys that tune in and watch. If you made it this far and you're not a subscriber, just subscribe, man. Don't cost a dime. All it does is help the channel to grow. And if you like the video, be sure and hit that like button. That also helps with the algorithm. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, just want to say hi, whatever, drop a comment below. I do read through them all. So yeah, with that, I guess we're going to call this one done. And just remember, folks, ain't got to be perfect. Lord knows I am not perfect. Just good enough. So y'all take it easy, and we'll see y'all next time.